Hello and welcome everybody. This is Ebo Quagraine, your real estate investor mentor coach. And today I'm excited to share this video for you. And this video is going to be about the seven smart moves that you as a real estate investor can apply to basically be able to pick up profitable rental properties. So today's video is a 7 smart moves to buy a profitable rental property. Why am I doing this video for you? So last time, after our 5 disciplines that you need to know or need to have before you invest in real estate investing, people have been inboxing me and asking me questions to say, how do we actually pick up actual deals, profitable deals? And you'd realize I stress on the word profitable because there's so many people that say, I invest in real estate. But when you do the numbers, they're not really investing. They're actually disinvesting because they're losing money. Therefore, it doesn't make it worth doing, right? So we thought it's very, very important that I share with you not what I've read, but actually this is my 7 steps. So my personal 7 steps that I've taken that has helped me to be able to buy very, very, very profitable rental properties. And I'm sharing that with you today. Are you ready? Let's get into it. So here we go. Rule number 1 is you want to get to know your market. Will you agree with me that if you go in somewhere, that it's always great to be able to sort of have a lay of the land, have a feel for the land and know who's there. And when you have that, it sort of gives you this element of confidence, which allows you to actually think clearer and to be able to also make better decisions. Yes. And this is also why at properties.com, we actually facilitate the property meetups, which allows like minds to come together to talk all things real estate, investing, and to learn together and to network together. Because in that process, you get to know your area, you get to know the market within which you are in, which is investing in real estate. Rule number 1, and very important, get to know your market, network within that market, and be able to, ease yourself, relax, and then know and build that confidence to be able to do the second step, and the third step, and the fourth step, and the fifth, and the sixth, up till the 7th. So what is the second step in this, or the second move that you as a rental investor need to have? Very, very important is you need to understand your buying or potential. And when I say your buying potential, I also equate it to your borrowing potential. Because you've probably have heard me say this a lot of time, that real estate investing is the only vehicle that you actually get to leverage other people's time, other people's money, and other people's resources and other people's talent to make yourself money, right? So you've also heard me say that contrary to what other people say, that you don't need money to invest in real estate. You do need money to invest in real estate. It just doesn't have to be your own, right? So get into this. You need to understand your buying potential. There is nothing distressing as finding a deal only to figure out that you actually cannot afford it. It is so irritating. It's annoying, actually. And potentially, as a real estate investor, it can cost you a lot more in future deals, because if you've done all the right work and found that property, you probably have found that the person that you found that property from was going to become for you another lead generating source, right? And when you're not able to honor that word, you're going to fall flat and they will not refer property to you. I know for a fact that if I gave you a deal today and you were not able to commit to the deal, you will not get a deal from me ever again, because people trust people and they do business with people that keep their word. So before you go around signing anything, pulling the trigger on any deal, understand your buying potential. Again, at properties.com, we understand the journey of the real estate investor, and I actually sit on the FNB's Property Leader Panel, as well as NetBank. So we're able to also assist you to get a pre-approval. It's very important. And having this pre-approval then gives you a certificate of confidence to say you can buy for so much. So inbox us and we can have a chat on how to actually go about getting you a pre-approval so that you can have that confidence. Number three is now you know where you're getting the money. So you know the market, you know what's happening there, you know where you're getting the money from. Number three, envision the tenant. Describe the tenant that you will be renting out your property to. Because if you don't know your market, chances are you are going to be picking up deals that you think is suited for a certain person, only to find out that that's not what they want. So in other words, you pick up what was a good deal, but for you, it will be a bad deal because you just picked it up at the wrong place. You've probably also heard me say this, that there are certain suburbs in South Africa that personally I would not invest in, but these are the suburbs that are actually doing very, very well. Why won't I invest in there? Because my personality type does not mirror the tenant that is in that market. This same advice would work if you were doing buy to flips. In this case, all you do is replace the word tenant with buyer. So you then envision the buyer, the person that you're selling the property to. Because if you're doing a buy to flip, you are first a buyer and then you're a seller. So you need to then look at who you're selling to. Very, very important. Now that we've figured out the market, we've figured out our borrowing potential, and we've actually envisioned the tenant, right? The next part is you want to actually do your rental income estimation. You want to estimate and figure out exactly how much money you can be earning on a month-to-month basis. Now, somebody says, well, this is easy. You can just check the market and see what properties are on rent for. Yes, that's one way. But you want to go deeper. You want to actually create averages on a street basis. So for example, if you're in Sandton and you're investing in Sandton for your rentals, you want to know what happens on Catherine Street, what happens on Rivonia, what happens on Pybos, what happens on West, what happens on Greyston. You want to know every single street and its rental, because, like it or not, the geographic location of your property is going to determine the rental averages. It's also going to affect the vacancy, which is a very, very important thing that most investors forget about. I say this to all my clients, and I'm going to say this to you. Every number that you have, create a contingency for a vacancy. At least in a year, you must budget for at least minimum 1 month of vacancy. Very important, because if you don't do that, your rental numbers are going to be out, and therefore you'll be making a decision on that would not come to fruition. So in other words, you're going to fall short. Okay, so now let's go. You've basically started off by knowing your market. You've then been able to find out your buying potential. You've then envisioned your tenant, and you've gone ahead and done your estimation for your rentals, right? 5, tally your expenses. Tally your expenses. So find out on a month-to-month basis, what are you going to spend to be able to get in the amount of rent that you expect. Now, remember, expenses are not necessarily liabilities. Sometimes you need to create an expense to generate an asset. So for example, expensing money for a property manager like properties.com may end up becoming an investment into the time to get your money on time, or to get your rentals on time, and to get your rentals consistently. So it's not a cost. So notice my use of words carefully by saying tally your expenses. It's not an investment, can be an expense, okay? So tally your expenses. Find out how much are you going to give your property manager. On average, you're looking at about 10% of your rental income that will go to that will go to your rental manager. There are other costs though. There are other expenses that could come in the form of maintaining the property over the year. There would be the need to paint. There would be plumbing issues that may come along. The roof, the geyser problems, insurance costs. These are all things that you need to factor in and you need to tally them. The nice part though, and why I personally love investing in real estate and especially rentals, is because most of the money you actually expense out is tax deductible. Now, in our coaching session, if we had a one-on-one, I could be able to give you a whole list of the things that you can actually deduct on. All right. Now we get to the two that is dearest to my heart, because we're getting into the numbers. You've figured out what the market does. You've basically been able to find out your buying potential, your borrowing potential. You've then gone into the 3 of defining your tenant or your buyer. 4, you've now gone into actually doing the estimation of what your rental income would be. 5, you've then tallied your expenses. Now that you've done this, the 6th point is actually doing your cash on cash return calculation. What do I mean by cash on cash? So you're going to be buying a property. You will have to probably put down a deposit, yes, assuming it costs you 50,000 Rand. And you have to pay lawyers' costs, so basically the cost of registering the property into your name and also paying for the transfer of the property to your name, yes? Now, assuming that's also another 50,000, assuming you're now sitting on 100,000. On this 100,000 that you've spent, if the property then is bringing you 10,000 Rand, right? Then it means that on a cash on cash basis, you're picking up a return of only 10%. Are you with me? So that's very important, because now you need to sit and figure out to say, if you were borrowing the money from someone, is that 10% enough? And are you actually building a portfolio for you, or are you building a portfolio for the bank? Because if the bank, for example, charges you 10% or prime, let's say 10%, and you're earning 10%, the deal is not worth doing. You get me? But then again, maybe you're being charged 5% and you're making 10%. That's a deal that's worth doing. And lastly, you want to always do your capitalization rate. What do I mean by capitalization rate? It means that if I put in 100,000, how quick will it take for me to get my money out? So using those same numbers of 110, it would mean that it will take you an average of 10 years to get your money out. 10 times 10, giving you 100, right? So it would take you exactly 10 years to get your money out. Now, how long are you in this investing game for? How long do you need to get your money out so that you can do another deal and another deal? I'm Ebo Quagraine. It was a great pleasure doing this very quick, short, to the point video on the 7 smart moves that you can apply to be able to buy profitable rental properties. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe on the top, and also make sure that you click the bell so that in future, whenever I'm online, you would be able to get a notification to be able to sync and watch, okay? Another thing is, you don't learn by yourself and you don't learn in silos. So everything you've heard me speak now, share it. Share this video with another friend so that the people around you get to learn that which you are learning, because then they are more likely to agree with you on a lot of things that you propose to them than they are to dislike the ideas that you put forward. It's been a great pleasure doing this video for you. Have a fantastic day and stay tuned and keep subscribing, keep commenting, keep sharing. I'll see you next week. Stay blessed and invest smart and invest well. It was a great pleasure doing this video for you. Keep well. Bye-bye.